Welcome to a Saturday edition. Nope, not Saturday. A Sunday edition. Morning Scone presented by Brock Baton Rouge Rugby Clinic. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. What a day. Tigers win, Tigers win. LSU upsets the Florida Gators in Tiger Stadium, 49-42. Tigers pick off 4 passes. Ty Davis-Price rushes for a school record 287 yards. Absolutely incredible. He rushed for more yards in that game than he had the previous 6 games combined. What happened? That, my friends, is why they play the game. It is always fun to beat Florida. And that win certainly threw a wrench. It foiled, I would assume, has foiled LSU's timeline strategy for announcing changes, etc. But I'll be darned, was that fun. All right. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the Matt Moscona YouTube channel. We appreciate that greatly. Facebook, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. We appreciate y'all greatly for being here, as always. All right, let's talk about the game. Let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. Pat Houston, Trivia Carter, good morning. Kirk Taylor, good to see you yesterday, man. Kirk came out to Don Juan Cigar Bar, had a good time. Colton Mack, Bubba Tatum, tell T-Bob thanks for teaching my daughter the phrase, F Florida, not joking, dead serious. I live in Tampa. I'm married to a Gator. That's good. Tim Gotro, good morning. Bigger shocker, Tigers winning or T-Bob correctly pronouncing massage? He did say massage yesterday on, and then he reverted at the end of Whiskey and Wine. Merrick Mathern, Trivia Carter, yesterday proved we got the talent, not the coaching. Yeah, to a degree. I mean, listen, can yesterday just stand alone and be awesome in its own right? I mean, that's where I hope fans are with this. Like, I don't think yesterday changes anything for your program as a whole. It was just a really fun day, man. 11 a.m., probably 60,000 people in Tiger Stadium, no expectation. And every time Florida punched, you had a counterpunch, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, this roster still has some deficiencies, and yeah, there's going to be a new coach next year. Yesterday didn't change any of that, but yesterday was just awesome. Like, let's just enjoy watching LSU win on a Saturday, and everybody go to bed happy and excited, and party during the day instead of all the yelling and angst and everything like that. Micah Hurd, good morning. I was dead wrong with TDP early in the season. Micah, I don't know. Look, we were all calling for Corey Kiner. And on that day yesterday, maybe Corey Kiner would have done the same thing. But we saw Ty Davis-Price do it, so good for him. I mean, you also can't ignore the fact that through the previous 6 games, he had fewer rushing yards than he did yesterday. Oh, man. Jeb Whitley, morning, Scone family. I got a 5-year age Pinhook straight rye whiskey to sip on a little today. Is this running game sustainable? Well, Jeb, not like we saw yesterday. Come on, let's get, you literally have to set the school record again. I mean, that's not sustainable. But, I hope they have a running game. I mean, being balanced takes a ton of pressure off of Max Johnson, especially when you're now lacking what you're lacking in the passing game with Keishon Butte and Deion Smith. I'm going to tell you the other thing that's undeniable, y'all, is Jack Mashburn makes a difference. He's a walk-on tight end, and they're using him as a tight end, H-back, fullback, all that stuff as a battering ram. And he's an extra blocker on the field. And when he's on the field, it makes a difference. Watch when 82's in there blocking. It's It's another hat on a hat instead of asking Cole Taylor or Jack Besh to block, which they're not really capable of doing right now. Let's see. Alex Day, good morning. Donovan Thibodeau, 9-3 against Florida in the last 12. Love to see that. Brian and Eddie Pint, good morning. Brown Bear 765, morning Scone. Spent the rest of my Saturday saying I still can't believe we won this game. Don Tomasino, good morning, Matt. I think the O-line has played well, has played their way into shape. Beginning of the year, Ingram said they were out of shape. He did say that. Let's see, Cole Matt, I love you, but T-Bob took you to the woodshed on your lottery ticket analogy. No. I would actually argue the complete contrary. That he looks silly every time he continues to try to defend Ogeron for 2019. I mean, the larger the sample size, the clearer it is he has no idea how that happened. Similar to buying a lottery ticket. Bruce Parker, what's up, man? Jason Souls, Jeremy Hoskins. I was equally impressed with Lane's post-game interview after having golf balls thrown at him. How about that? Crazy. Paul Batts, Falls in the Air. Good morning from Houston. Florida fans are roasting Mullen on Twitter. They should, man. Randy Quinn, Blaine Smith. Tennessee fans showed their behind. They did, throwing stuff on the field. That was unbelievable watching that last night. I mean, I was sitting on the patio watching that, and I'm like, I can't believe that. And that was the longest game ever, by the way. It started at 6:30, didn't end until almost midnight. I'm curious what penalties the SEC levies on Tennessee, because there's got to be something. Jeff McKithen, Henry Burrell, for those that didn't see it, Tennessee was down. They were trying to drive with a minute left for what could be the game-winning score. They have like a 4th and 24. They throw a pass, and as the guy is being tackled, like it's very close to the line. They mark him about a half a yard short. Well, they review it. There's no real great angle, but when you piece them together, it kind of showed he was short, probably by about a half a yard. I mean, it was a good spot. Well, Tennessee fans lose their mind and start throwing stuff on the field. It like stopped the game. They took the band out, the cheerleaders out. The security and police officer had to like move the students up, like away from the field, get them out. It was crazy. I mean, it was a crazy scene to see. Henry Burrell, morning, Matt. Can you clear up this question? Did O-line take a step forward, or was it scheme? Probably a little bit of both. Ed Ingram looked awesome yesterday. Thought Marlon Martinez played really well at right guard, and they ran a bunch of counter plays. I mean, with pulling guards and pulling guard and tackle. I mean, I used to love doing that. I mean, I obviously never at that level, but I played guard. I love to pull. You get a little bit of a run head start and you kick out an end or someone who's maybe a little bit smaller than you. I love doing that. So they ran a bunch of counters, man. I thought Gene Chiswick actually did a great job. If y'all watched SEC Final, he did a great job showing. I mean, it was the same counter play over and left and right. And LSU did a great job on that. Paul Batts, Whiskey and Wine is a hit. Y'all should have your own show on Netflix. John Bro, Jack Mashburn's made a huge difference in the run game with his blocking. Completely agree. Brandon Atchison, Scone, I truly enjoy listening to all of your shows. That being said, can we get Roe back on Whiskey and Wine? T-Bob is too much for me. His death metal scream is too obnoxious. Sorry, Brandon, not happening. Gary Hughes, bro, UT fans the worst. Awful. Nearly ruined an amazing game. James Tyrone, everyone needed a good game. We got it. We say that all year, right? Like when people thought LSU wouldn't win another game. That you're at some point in the year, you're going to play your best game. And at some point, you're going to play your worst game. And maybe LSU just did that in back-to-back weeks. Maybe the worst game was against Kentucky. Maybe the best game was against Florida. Let's see what they do the rest of the way. David Bell, what's up? Stephen Miller, good morning. Let's see, the win as a whole was amazing. Atmosphere was great. However, there's still glaring issues on both sides of the ball and or with the staff. For sure, Stephen. I mean, and that's kind of the point, right? Like, winning that game yesterday didn't change the reality facing the program. The fact that you have glaring holes in your roster management, you've had some terrible recruiting misses, you've had off-the-field missteps, you've had on-field missteps, you've had bad coaching hires. Like, there's all that stuff didn't change yesterday. Yesterday was just a really fun day. Eric Cantrell, what's up? Chewy Gutierrez, morning, Matt. Yesterday was fun. This team, I will take the win, knowing brighter days are ahead. Robert Ellis Boudreaux, Matt, as a local guy in Lafayette, always says about his teams that he wants happy days. Yesterday was a happy day. Let's enjoy it. Amen. Trey Wilson, what do you mean by Tate inserted himself like not welcome by SW Scott Woodward? So Trey, Trey's referring to, and we did talk about this yesterday on Whiskey and Wine. I don't mind talking about it. That the new LSU president William Tate has inserted himself into these conversations about Ogeron, his future, the buyout, the hiring of a new coach, all that stuff. That much I am 100% certain now is the case. Like, it's not just, hey Scott, go do what you want to do and just keep me abreast of what's happening. Like, he wants to be involved, and I think that has made this whole process, more complicated, because I'm not sure right now that Scott has full autonomy to do exactly what he wants to do, exactly how he wants to do it. Rhonda Cavalier, good morning. Derek Peterson, Skip, what's up, man? Gator in studio gets the win. Let's see. Paul, seems like Coach O is relieved. Sound like brass, informed of their plans. I don't know, spitballing. Devin Kelly, how about your boy TDP? Great day for Ty Davis Price. Congrats to him. Awesome day, man. Mitchell, which is so bizarre. Like, Ali Broussard's record stood for so long, 2004, until Fournette broke it, and then Geis broke it. And then they scrubbed Geis from the record books, which is just stupid, but anyway. But even still, I think Geis' record, if I'm not mistaken, somebody tell me if I'm wrong, was like 285. And the record he set against A&M, and that was, yesterday was 287, so he would have had it either way. Mitchell Prine, why didn't Coach O paint a better picture earlier in the year of what we are seeing this year? Lots of freshmen gets lots of playing time, growing to become contenders next year. So Mitchell, I don't know what you mean about why Coach O didn't paint a better picture of that. They've also had a ton of injuries. I mean, you played yesterday without 6 guys that were starters on defense at the beginning of the season. So I don't think that was the intent to play that many freshmen. I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that. Kenneth Kyle, Matt, is Lane a legit possibility? I know that Lane Kiffin wants the LSU job. Very much, yes. He, through intermediaries, is very much stumping for the LSU job. I don't think he's going to get it, though. Travis Roy, morning. Great day yesterday. You and T-Bob are going together. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate it, man. Arthur Blanchard, morning, Matt. What was the name of the bourbon you got on AFR? And have you tried it? So it was Calumet 15. Yes, and it's very good. Derek Gordon, Matt, is there one off-the-radar coach who you hope for? I like Ryan Day, great recruiter. So, Derek, I don't think Ryan Day is even on anybody's radar here. I've given you names. The initial 2 that I heard were Kiffin and Bill O'Brien. Haven't heard much about Bill O'Brien since. Kiffin, I know, is stumping for the job. I don't know that they're going to hire him because it's going to be a squeaky clean hire. The 2 names subsequently that I heard were, and this is all stuff I've said before, so I'll say it again. James Franklin, Luke Fickell. My understanding is that Luke Fickell is not interested, that he wants to stay in the Midwest, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, one of those spots. And also that, remember, Oklahoma is going to the Big 12. So Cincinnati is going to the Big 12. So Cincinnati will be a Power 5 team, in theory. So I don't think he's in a huge issue to rush out. And then Franklin, and the other is the most recent name that is being bandied about is Mel Tucker, and I think Mel's is doing a really good job at Michigan State. But that goes back to what I was saying about you know, William Tate is inserting him into the search, and I think he would very much like to hire a minority football coach at LSU to be the first minority football coach hired at LSU. So I think that's why. And by the way, if white, black, whatever, if they landed James Franklin, I would be pumped. I think you're going to have competition because I think Penn State's going to try to pay to keep him, and USC apparently is interested as well. So you have competition. Mel Tucker has had a. Mel Tucker's interesting because he's been under the Saban Kirby tree, so to speak. It's his second head coaching job from Colorado to Michigan State. So he's had success as a head coach, but not huge success as a head coach. So it doesn't really check the box for Scott as a guy that would be necessarily a home run, right? But could he work here? Absolutely, great recruiter. He's done a pretty incredible job turning Michigan State around in such short order that he has. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you I think that's going to be interesting. I don't get the feeling that Scott Woodward has full autonomy to make this hire on his own. I think he's going to operate within certain parameters set forth by the president of the university, and one of those is a desire to see a minority hired. So I think that's why and by the way, I'm not saying that's definitive, like that's the only thing that matters, but I'm telling you, I think that it's pretty clear that is something that is very desired. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Michael Costello, good morning. Kenneth Martin, please tell me this game did not save O's job. It did not. I can tell you that with 100% certainty, that winning yesterday did not save Ed Ogeron's job. Merrick Mathur and T-Bob made it clear he does not like Florida. Cliff Nelson, lemon cookies. They're amazing. Erica makes cookies for me to bring to Whiskey and Wine, and the lemon cookies are a hit. Jeb Whitley. It'll be fun to watch Florida race hell about Mullen's future at UF. They should. After that loss yesterday, I'm going to tell y'all, man. You came into that game the third best rushing team in the country, and he allowed his quarterbacks to throw 4 interceptions. What are you doing? I mean, now the flip side of it too, y'all, is yes, LSU won the game. So much fun. You also allowed 42 points and 488 yards on a day where they threw 4 interceptions. They turned it over 4 times and still put up 42 points and 488 yards. Hi, bud.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Drew. Hey, babe. Good morning.
Oh, she get that excited when you see me in the morning.
Hey.
Hi, babe.
Well, he needs a big reaction.
I need a big reaction.
Hey, babe.
Hey, babe.
Stephen Davis, how about whiskey and wine, cap, koozie, t-shirts in the near future? Go Tigers. I mean, I ain't paying to hold any inventory for a show that Guarantee owns. You know what I mean? Drew singing Sesame Street. It was sweet. Let's see. Y'all do me a favor, smash the like button. Remember, Brock Rock and Wine is coming up in 2 weeks from yesterday, 13 days away. Brock Rock and Wine, benefiting the Brock Foundation at the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge. You can buy your tickets at brortho.com, brortho.com. Food. 20 minutes. And HUDCOroofing.com, HUDCOroofing.com. Let's see. Stephen Hentorn. I'll be playing free online poker while listening. I had been wondering if the players would take over. Oh, you mean like yesterday the players took over? Let's see, Jeb, Matt, did you see Tennessee fans pelt the field with garbage? I did. It was awful. Don Tomasino, I think yesterday showed always support the players no matter what. Connor O'Neill, good morning. Kirk Taylor. Let's see. Brooke Bordeaux, good morning. Jordan McNeese. So Lane legit wants to come to LSU. I question what his true loyalty would be if he comes here. Is LSU a stepping stone, or could he really stay for years to come? No, Jordan, it's one of those things where I think perhaps the NFL could come calling again for Kiffin one day. I think, he went to Nick Saban school for rehab coaches. He's 46 years old right now. But I think he also realizes he can't win a national title at Ole Miss. There's some conversation that Kiffin might have wanted the Miami job, and it has been made abundantly clear to me that that is not the case, that he really wants the LSU job. And he is stumping for it, and I just don't think he's going to be able to get it. Craig Lydecker, what's up, Craig? Morning, brother. Can't believe a blocking scheme had that big of an effect, right? In some respects it does. In some respects, you just matchup worked. You played well. Ty Davis Price had an awesome day. Was running with passion and broke tackles, and it all came together, man. ESPN said the announced crowd was 96,000. Well, that's the paid attendance. I think Sean McDonough was pretty clear on there as well that was paid attendance. Colton Mack, Donovan Thibodeau, Connor O'Neill, great win. I still don't understand why we take deep shots on 3rd and short. I thoroughly enjoyed the win, but those play calls make no sense. Such a low chance of success with those plays. I'm looking for a 3rd and short where they took a deep shot. Not saying it didn't happen. They threw it on 3rd and 4, got a punt blocked. Threw it on 3rd and 4, incomplete. Threw it on 3rd and 10, incomplete. Threw it on 3rd and 15, completed it for the first down. That was on a 13-play drive. 3rd and 16 was the 71-yard touchdown. I got called back because of holding. It became 3rd and 26, and Malik Neighbors dropped the screen pass. Oh man, I'm not seeing it. Seeing 3rd and short where they threw it. Third and 3 incomplete. There was one. There was a 3 and out in the second half. 3rd and 5, ran it, converted. 3rd and 5, ran it, converted. Yeah, dude, I didn't see many 3rd and shorts where they took a deep shot. Let's see, Matt, do you think 100 yards a game rushing is doable for the rest of the year? Okay, next week against Ole Miss, yes. I think Ole Miss's defense isn't great, so you have that possibility. Against Bama, probably not because of their defensive front. I think you have great potential against Arkansas. I told you before yesterday, I thought that was the SEC game they'd get. ULM for certain, A&M probably not. So there's some opportunities. Let's see. Where does Florida go from here? Shirley Mullen's seat is heating up after this. Yeah, maybe so. But I don't think they're making any move. Connor O'Neill, I think the more appropriate analogy for O is Michael Scott. He had no idea how Scranton was the most profitable branch of Dunder Mifflin when the CFO wanted to see how he did. But it would be like if Dunder Mifflin was the most profitable branch in the history of the company for 1 quarter, and then the rest was a disaster. Andrew Ortiz, can you pick LSU to lose every weekend? Andrew, I'm going to. But so what he's referring to. So I had a great day yesterday, by the way. I had Auburn to beat Arkansas. I cashed that ticket. I had A&M to cover against Mizzou. Cashed that. I had a 5-0 day. I had Auburn. I had A&M. I had Purdue against Iowa. I had Oklahoma to win and cover, and I had Ole Miss to win and cover. I was 5-0 yesterday betting, but I have yet to correctly pick the outcome of an LSU game against the Power Five. So McNeese and Central Michigan notwithstanding, I picked them to beat UCLA. They lost. I picked them to lose to Mississippi State. They won. I picked them to beat Auburn, and they lost. I picked them to beat Kentucky, and they lost. I picked them to lose to Florida, and they won. So I've gotten every LSU game wrong the whole year. So I think I'm just going to pick them to lose every week and make them on a run. It'd be great. Donovan Thibodeau's right. He said he picked Ole Miss against us all summer, so I need to change that now. I did. When I picked LSU this year 9-3. I said I think they'd lose at Bama, at Ole Miss, and they'd go 2-1 at home against Florida, Auburn, and A&M. Well, they're 1-1 right now. Let's see. Now I didn't have them losing to Kentucky. I didn't have them losing to UCLA. Let's see. Christopher Smith back here on Facebook. Billy Napier. I know for a fact Billy Napier wants the job, but that's not surprising to anybody. I don't think LSU is going to hire the coach from ULL. Jacob Falcon, damn, we're supposed to be done with those by now. Jacob, but I think LSU's done with those wrong by now, man. But listen, I told you all this yesterday, okay? If you were listening to on both Morning Scone and for those that watch Whiskey and Wine, I mentioned this to you yesterday. And I've said for weeks and weeks and weeks that there is a lack of an obvious interim head coach, and that is one of the reasons that has slowed this whole process. In 2000 and in 2008, when Tyrone Willingham was the head coach at Washington, and his then athletic director, Scott Woodward, announced on Monday after the 7th game that Willingham would not be retained, but would finish out the remainder of the season. So the timing very much lined up for something similar. Had LSU lost yesterday. I don't know if they're going to announce that now. But again, like I said yesterday, and like I've told you, lack of an interim head coach. I know that is at bare minimum an option, if not a likelihood, that because of the lack of an interim, that he finishes the season. They announce he's out, but finish the season. Let's see. Kennel Show 11 a.m. kickoffs the rest of the year. I love it, man. When they do 11 a.m. kickoffs, shoot, day game means date night. I love it. Jake Nola, Matthew, guarantee always own Whiskey and Wine, or did you start it alone? It was Jordy's idea, but we've always done it on the guarantee platforms. Paul Batts, I've been watching Aranda's Baylor pressers. Man, is a football wizard. Another big win for Dave Aranda yesterday over BYU. He has them playing really good football right now. Paul Batts, Kiffin wants another shot at a blue blood. Ole Miss is not a blue blood. LSU is. LSU isn't necessarily a blue blood. LSU is more like new money. You know, I mean, they won a title in the 50s, but so did Ole Miss. And, you know, the last 20 years has been LSU's glory. Brian, Matt, don't forget my birthday's Tuesday. I'm expecting a Dodge Hellcat. Gotcha, bro. Richie Bird, offensive line deserves a ton of credit. Amazing the game plan went from 98% passing to 100% running up the middle. Jason Souls, with the new president messing with Woodward, does he start looking to go somewhere else? Yeah, Jason, I don't know where Scott would go. I'm not saying like he would stay in that environment forever, but one of the reasons Scott is here is, you know, his family's here. He's from here. His parents live here. His brother's here. He's at his alma mater. You know, he loves to hunt and fish, and Washington was far. He was here all the time when he was up at UW and at A&M. So no. Jason Bourgeois, 0 penalties on Florida. How's that even possible? Aren't you supposed to get the benefit of the doubt at home? Jason, you know, I'm okay when a crew is light on the subjective calls. And if you don't object, like if you don't do something like a delay of game or a false start or something that is just an objective call, you play a clean game in that respect. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that's how improbable yesterday was. Florida did not commit a penalty. They put up almost 500 yards of offense and 42 points and lost, bro. Like, it's crazy. 4 turnovers, man. That's what did it. It's so cliche to say, but when and the odd thing is LSU came into the game as the 3rd least penalized team in the country. I guess we have to settle for the Independence Bowl. Hester will be proud. Independence Bowl no longer has an SEC tie-in. So I don't think LSU's going there. But you got to find 2 more wins. You're at 4-3 right now. You got to find 2 more. I think they can get there. They'll beat ULM and then 1 more conference win. Maybe, I think Arkansas is their best shot. I think they can get it. Scott Dickerson. How embarrassing were the Tennessee fans last night? It was brutal. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Trey Wilson. Regardless if Tate inserts himself, doesn't the money have the last say where the money goes? No, Trey, that's not exactly how it works. They can certainly have their input, have their say, but that's not how that works, no. Let's see, Paul, Phil Steele made me some money yesterday. His locks are gold, along with odds. Since I was playing with house money, took LSU money line yesterday, made bank. It's going to my game coin investment strategy. I did not, I never play LSU ever. Like, I do not bet on LSU games ever. I just don't trust that I can be completely unbiased. I'm always just going to err on the side of, same with the Saints, by the way. I don't bet on LSU or Saints games ever. Yeah. Patrick Cason, why is Ohio State ranked higher than Ole Miss? I don't know. They started the season higher. Buddy Bond, does 7-4 save O's job? Nope. And remember, they play 12, so it wouldn't be 7-4. It would be 7-5 or 8-4. Alan Marrero, Matt. What? Huh? Alan Marrero, Matt. Now we know how Rivers and State fans feel each week. Low expectations, happy as hell when we get a win. That's actually pretty accurate. I hate it, but it's accurate. Robbie White, good morning. Was wondering your relationship, friendship with Jordy. Enjoy your Sunday, brother. Yeah, Jordy and I are great, man. Him leaving Guaranteed had nothing to do with our personal relationship at all. Richie Bird, we're texting on Friday. Richie Bird, there's a better chance that Terry Bowden and Rich Rodriguez are higher on the list than Napier. They aren't even on the list. I wouldn't go that far, Richie, but I'd put it to you this way. If LSU got to a point in their coaching search where you're considering like young up-and-coming group of 5 coaches, like Jamie Chadwell would be the guy. And by the way, I'm not spitballing. Like I'm telling you, like if you get that far down the list, Jamie Chadwell's the guy from Coastal, and he's been more proven than Napier. He's done more than Napier. So, I just don't think they get that far down the list. Michael Falgu, what's up, Michael Falgu? Good morning. Thoughts on Aranda as head coach candidate? I think they want someone with more skins on the wall as a head coach. But it's hard to ignore what he's doing right now in year 2. It's been impressive. Neil Ripley, If they lose the next 3, win the last 2, does Zoe get to coach the bowl game? Probably. Sam Bacon, Coach FC's another week. Burberry, Wenoir, Bradley, a reduced buyout. So, there has been a lot of tug of war with that over the last 2 weeks. A lot of tug of war with that over the last 2 weeks. Brandon Atchison for the people, thinking this 1 win saved Coach O's job. It's not happening. 1 win doesn't erase PR. How bad the team has been since winning the Natty. That's true. And Brandon, as soon as they lose another game, because they'll lose another game, people will revert right back to that line of thinking, which is okay. Just enjoy the fact that LSU beat Florida yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Hey, Dylan Landry, Todd Marr, good morning from LA. Great win. There you go. Richie Burt, Brad Davis making his presence known. Curious to see if they can keep getting better, man. I do like that Brad Davis hire. And I would love to see what it could look like if he had a chance to really mold that unit. Deborah Russell, good morning. Paul Batt, Scott knows Louisiana political process. That's a rare capability. Dr. Tate needs to let Scott do his job. I completely agree with that. I don't know if that's going to happen. Let's see, Alan. Hearing Aranda's team has reached out about the job and wants it. He could be the fallback pick. I mean, Alan, trust me when I tell you, the amount of inbound interest that LSU has had is everybody. Everybody is interested in this job. And that's not like LSU guy Homer stumping for how good the job is. The last 3 coaches here have won a national championship. 2 of them, no one would consider dynamite tactical coaches. And when Nick Saban won it in 2003, he wasn't yet Nick Saban. You know what I mean? He was rising. He wasn't the greatest coach in the history of the sport in 2003. So, yes, anyone who takes the job would. Every coach is looking at LSU going, you mean I can recruit a talent-rich state where I'm the only Power 5, I'm in the SEC, school's won 3 national championships since 2003, played for 4, the only other school to do that is Bama. Coach currently is making $8 million a year. I've got airplane pods for lockers. You know what I mean? Like, yes, everyone's interested in the job. So Mullen decides they're a really good passing team. LSU thanks you for that decision, right? Nick Diaz has taken a forced Woodward to hire a minority coach or suggests he hires one. So Nick, that's kind of a bit of the tug of war, right? So who ultimately gets their say? You know, I think you go through the whole process of vetting coaches and going through the interview process and decide who's realistic, who's available, and then at the necessary time you make that decision. But you know, remember with timeline matters, y'all, because with the December signing period now, if you hire a sitting head coach, if that sitting head coach is playing in a New Year's Six or something like that, I mean, can you snag them before that bowl game? Or do you have to wait till after? If that's the case, you wait till after the December signing date. You know, there's a lot up in the air on the timing of a decision like that too. Tim Casalot, Matt, what's up? Do any of the assistant coaches remain on staff? So, Tim, I'll continue to say, man, my feeling on that is you give a new coach always full autonomy to hire whoever they want to hire. When when Les was hired, Skip made him retain Jimbo, and they clashed, man. They butted heads. So I don't think you force any staff member on a coach. Now, any coach that comes in, if they did not retain Corey Raymond, would be stupid. But see. Jason Souls, let's get to 6. Hello, Birmingham Bowl or the Liberty Bowl. I mean, remember this, Jason. The way the bowl pool works now is after New Year's 6, the highest ranked SEC team goes to the Citrus Bowl, and the rest all get placed strategically in games to create matchups and locations where fans would travel. So I know sometimes we have in our head a pecking order of like if it's Music City or Houston or Liberty or Texas Bowl or Liberty Bowl or Birmingham Bowl. You kind of have to flush that because that's not really how it works anymore. Like LSU would likely go to the Texas Bowl because of proximity and because of the LSU alumni base in Houston. You know what I mean? Like that 2015 LSU team deserved much better than the Texas Bowl, but they went there to take on Texas Tech because of proximity and everything I just said. So, if LSU gets to bowl eligibility, they need 2 more wins. Let's assume they'll beat ULM. That would put them at 5, and then they need 1 more conference win. If they get it, they're at 6, and they go to a bowl game. It could well be Texas. Clayton Knight, Luke Fickle. I've been told Luke Fickle is not interested. Would rather wait for a Midwest job, and also Cincinnati is going to be in the Power 5 when they go into the Big 12. Did you bet Purdue and Iowa? I did. I took Purdue. Corey Gotro. Is it time for E-Rock to cook a gumbo and invite Coach O over? She didn't hear it. Erica? No, it's okay. Somebody said it's time for Erica to cook a gumbo and invite Coach O over. She said, I don't cook gumbo, I just bake cookies. Robbie White is a true Fickle, isn't interested in the job. That shocks me. Just went through that, yeah. Trey Wilson, thanks for the feedback. Hadn't hit golf balls. There you go, Trey. Appreciate it, man. Have a good Sunday. Rode Yule, although highly unlikely. These guys could still win out and go to Atlanta like Willie Nelson High. No. Brian Robert, did Jack Besh get hurt? I did not see Jack Besh get hurt. Then again, it was not in the stadium. I think they were running the ball so well that they had the blocking tight end on the field. They had Mashburn in there. Let's see. Does Hudco Roofing accept Gamecoin? Yeah. What's up, Steve Colson? I was like, who's asking about Hudco and Gamecoin? Naturally, it would be that guy. Need some roofing up. Gotcha, bro. You know that. Doug McClung, Drew's cutout is exactly how we felt yesterday beating Florida and Crybaby Mullen. Yep. Richie Burt, defensive line played great yesterday too, mostly getting a quarterbacks the 4-man rush. Oh, that's right. I forgot the Jags are playing in London. It's on right now. I forgot that last week with the Falcons. Robbie, at the end of the day in a vacuum, Hugh Freeze would probably be the best choice and would take it in a heartbeat, but it would never happen. Robbie, I do agree with you. Like, Hugh Freeze would be at or near the top of my list. He's won in the SEC. He's a great offensive mind. He's won at 2 different places. I do believe that he made poor life choices and has paid dearly for them. I think would do great here. But I also agree with you that I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see. E.K. Sullivan. I like death metal and Spurs. You're talking about T-Bob. Danny Braywick. I have season tickets. Was asked all week why I was going. This is why you don't miss a game. Also, with my 4 and 7-year-olds, they had a blast. It's wise, fans. You live through the muck because it makes the great moments that much better. Let's see. Connor O'Neill, we were +4 in the turnover margin. We only won by LMAO. I mean, that's kind of incredible, right? I mean, it goes to show you how thin the margin was in the game. But you did what you had to do to win. Ty Davis Price needs big holes and had a steam to be effective using the counter Trey running play. and pull the guards and tackles. TDP excel. Line is not built for zone blocking. I could get down with that. Irfan Sayad, good morning. Hail Mary at the end of the half is still annoying. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing, Kurt. And this is the biggest compliment I could pay LSU yesterday, is that every time Florida punched them, they counterpunched. So, first possession of the game, Florida blocked LSU's punt. LSU forced a 3-and-out. After Florida scored, LSU went 3-and-out. LSU's defense forced a 3-and-out. Then the offense went on that 13-play touchdown drive. Go ahead 7-6. After LSU had the 71-yard touchdown called back, they got the Cordell Flott tip interception by Baskerville and scored on first down to Jenkins, and on first down was the Ward interception. But then, so LSU's up 21-6, and you have two long plays in the same drive negated. The 24-yard run by Ty Davis Price and the 49-yard catch by Brian Thomas because he was covered up. So you had the ineligible man downfield. But after that, as disappointing as that was, Florida gets the Hail Mary, so it's 21-13 at half. And you're thinking, it's 21-13, they get the ball to start the second half, here it goes. And boom, McLaughlin, pick six. So you're up 28-13. They get the ball back, and it looks like you screwed up because Radarius Jones gets you unsportsmanlike conduct. They score. Richardson, scores the touchdown on the draw. He gets the 2-point conversion. It's 28-21, and everyone's going, man, that unsportsmanlike conduct. That's going to do it. That's going to be the one that changes the game. And boom, LSU 3 plays. Boom, 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 touchdown. You got that one right back. Every time Florida scored, LSU had the answer, and that was the most encouraging thing of that game, man. They tied it. They tied it at 35. LSU answered with a touchdown. They tied it at 42. LSU answered with a touchdown. I mean, just every time Florida punched, LSU had the counter. So it was great to see, man. It was really, really great to see. Does Blake Baker get retained by the new staff? You kind of have to see what the new staff is, right? Would you be okay with Aranda or Chadwell? I just think you could get a more proven coach. But considering what we said earlier, the last two guys that have won national championships didn't really have the resume of those guys. So, unless it'd been at Oklahoma State, but we all understand what I mean. Jacob Hibbert, Matt, great win yesterday. How real is the smoke around Tucker? I have a hard time seeing him taking over Franklin or Kiffin if you can get them. He's only had one winning season this one. So, Jacob, it's the thing that I alluded to earlier, is that you have a university president who has most definitely inserted himself into this conversation that does have a desire. Huh? Yeah. That does have a desire to see a minority football coach at LSU, which has never happened in the history of the program. And I'm never going to say that you hire someone because of their race. I'm also never going to say that you should pass on someone for that reason either. And I'll continue to reiterate, regardless of whatever criteria, I still think James Franklin would be awesome. Mel Tucker would make me a little leery just because he doesn't have the long resume. But I know Scott Woodward likes Mel Tucker a lot also. And he's been in the NFL. He was under Saban at Bama. He was with Kirby at Georgia. He got the head coaching job at Colorado, where he's there for 1 year. He spent the last 2 years at Michigan State. And, by the way, I do love that he has total edge because they played at Miami a couple of weeks ago and he wears shorts on the sideline. If you're that confident enough as a head coach that you're going to wear shorts on the sideline for a major college football game, I kind of dig it. Danny Braywick, watched Whiskey and Wine this morning. It was great. We reverse tailgated, so didn't leave until after 8. That's awesome, man. That's a better way to do it on a day like that. Fillmore Starkey, hey, Matt, great win. Would LSU entertain thought of looking at Joe Brady and unite him with Jake Peets? No, because I'll tell you this. Joe Brady did not like the recruiting part of college football. He's going to be an NFL guy, and he's going to be an NFL head coach next year. He got NFL head coaching interviews last offseason. He's going to get a job this year. Joseph Cadeb, is Bill O'Brien still a legit candidate? Seems like he no longer has a chance. I have not heard Bill O'Brien's name in a while. I'm just telling you the names that I've heard along the way. It seems like you've had some candidates emerge, and I believe, based on what I have been told, that James Franklin is candidate 1, 2, 3. Like James Franklin is at the top of LSU's list. We'll see, but and if I get info that changes that, I'll tell you. But I'm very confident telling you that as of this moment, he would be the guy at the top of the list. Keaton Berrien, forget all this new coach talk, beat Ole Miss. I'm with it, Keaton. But both parts of this conversation have merit. And we do the show to talk about what everybody wants to talk about. And if that's what people want to talk about, we'll talk about it. Christopher Smith, Hudco. Thank you, Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Travis Daisy, where has this LSU effort been? Travis, I think defensively, LSU has given effort. I mean, even against Kentucky last week, it was 14-0 at halftime. I mean, they played a solid half, and then to start the second half, boom, 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 3 consecutive Kentucky possessions, and it's 35-7, you know. I don't fault effort necessarily. I just think they've been poorly coached. Christopher Smith, good morning. Let's see. Matt Plavidal, morning Matt, is this another F. King, Joe Oliva situation where the AD wants one thing, the president another? Not exactly, Matt. The problem with that situation was Joe Oliva just never vetted everything with King, who ultimately had to sign off on what they did. That was the problem. In 2015, Joe, had already walked down the aisle with Jimmy Sexton on Fisher and hadn't told King where they were, and couldn't rapidly get an answer from King in time. And then Sexton jacked the price, and by that point, King was like, "No, we're not doing this." Ivan Ludley, top 3 bourbons. Like any? And does it have to be bourbon or just whiskey? Because I like a lot of rye too. My favorite is Pappy 15. Are the Pappies? Pappy 15 is great. I think the Van Winkles always hold up. Lot B, Rib 10, Love Weller 12. Elmer T. Lee. I'd go to the B-Tax. I think the Sazerac 18 of the B-Tax might be my favorite. Let's see. Tad Page, good morning. Would winning out save Ed's job? Apologies if this has been asked. No, Tad. And they're not going to win out. But no. I mean, it's over. Trevor Carter, need my Drew Bucks. Well, you know who to ask. Let's see. Michael Mills. Matt, as a black man, I hope our new black president at the school understands we need the best coach we can get, not just the blackest. Michael, I understand. And I understand that. And yeah, I understand. I also understand that there are so many factors that influence a decision. And that's one of them. I'm not saying it's the only, but I'm telling you it's one of them. Let's see. Mr. Dobberdude, defense has regressed the last 2 weeks. Well, remember, you're also without Ricks, Stingley, Major Burns, Ollie Gay, Andre Anthony, Joseph Evans. I mean, come on, let's be abundantly clear about what you're dealing with here. Number one, and also with the lack of numbers, you're also going to deal with tons of fatigue late in games, which we've seen. So, yes, no doubt they've regressed, but let's also remember context here that you're without 6 starters. Boy, I'm behind on comments. Let's see. Mike and Mary Hoggart, so does Zoe finish the rest of the year now? Mike, I mentioned this. I know I'm repeating myself. So some of you who've been hanging out have heard me say this over and over, but for the benefit of those who are just joining, I'll repeat what I said yesterday on Morning Scone, what I said yesterday on Whiskey and Wine. When Scott Woodward was at Washington and he fired Tyrone Willingham, they made the announcement after Game 7 that Willingham would not return, but would finish the season. So I think you have history there to show what Scott would maybe want to do, but I've also told you that Scott doesn't apparently have complete and total autonomy to make all these decisions because someone else has inserted himself in all these conversations, which has complicated things. And then winning yesterday further complicated the situation. And I think also, like I've said, the lack of an obvious choice for interim coach has made that difficult too. Let's see. Mason Acosta, what bowl do you think LSU would go to if they went out besides Bama? If they went out, so if they went out besides Bama, they'd be 8-4, probably still the Texas Bowl. Rapping Batches, shame on you, fair weather Nega Tigers who had tickets and didn't show up. Come on, bro. Never going to tell anybody what to do with their time or their money. Stephen Jacobs, good morning. Keaton Berry, and if LSU were to win out and Auburn dropped 1, LSU would win the West. You can't fire O for that. They're not going to win out, Keaton. Hamilton Keener, Coach O just got a 3-year extension. Tavaca de Silva, good morning. Semperfied Crawfish Co. When did they stop teaching wrap up when you tackle? Yeah, man, it's so bizarre to watch tackling now when all guys do is just throw a shoulder and go for the hit when they don't wrap up anymore. I mean, even the play at the end of the Tennessee Ole Miss game, it would not have been that close had the Ole Miss defender hit and wrapped instead of just going for the hit across the bow, which allowed the Tennessee receiver to fall forward. Weird. Jamal Kelly Scone, you got your facial yesterday. I got it on Friday, as a matter of fact. Got it Friday. Brad David, thoughts on Tennessee? I think Heupel's doing a good job there, man. I don't know if you're talking about the situation with the fans yesterday, which was brutal. And Sankey issued a statement this morning saying they're going to review and discipline is likely coming. So, should. Let's see. LSU should legit be 5-2. Yeah, I mean, they should have beaten Auburn. But they didn't. And you could also say that yesterday they needed 4 turnovers and a career rushing day to beat Florida when Florida outgained LSU, yada, yada, yada. So there's give and take there, man. That's why the results are what they are. Those things tend to even themselves out. Let's see. Purple Age 2000, it's USL. They can call themselves whatever they want. They're still USL. Okay. LSU hasn't been in this position in total coaching staff overall since Saban to Miles. It's been a long time. Or Giraffe, what if O goes 9-3? He won't. And they're moving on. Jimbo, who dat? Good morning, Scone. Awesome Sunday with the win and no stress on the Saints State. Very true. Just enjoy the day and the beautiful weather, everybody. Charlie Broussard, I'm so sunburned. but it was definitely worth it. Um, I love that there are actually people posting in here that they think LSU could win out and go 9-3. Fans are crazy. I mean, they gag away a win against Auburn. They get pounded by Kentucky. Everyone's ready to melt the whole place. They beat Florida, and now they're going to win out. Yo, so crazy. Oh, man. Ultimate Warrior, what's up? Douglas Hurstel. Let's see. Jared Guillory, the whole Bruce Fox report, I have no doubt, came from Tate to pressure Scott. He needs to stay the... What did Feldman say? I don't know what Bruce Feldman said. And I'm telling you, anything you ever get from Bruce Feldman came from the mouth of Derek Panamsky or Ed Ogeron. Period. I'm on his Twitter. What did Feldman say? I'm on his Twitter. I don't see it. Oh, Mel Tucker to LSU. Bruce Feldman explains why Michigan State coach is popular, influential. Well, that's the thing I was saying. Is it? What did he say? I mean, I'm telling. I gave you the reason why. I don't have to listen to that. I gave you the reason why. But anything you're getting from Bruce Feldman came from the mouth of Derek Panamsky or Ed Ogeron. Let's see. Wow, ULM beat Liberty, huh? A 53-yard field goal. Did they rally in that game? I thought I saw an early score. Liberty was rolling. So it's 14-0 at halftime. ULM had a 28-point third quarter. And Liberty put up 14 to 4th in a late field goal. Wow, that's crazy. Good for them. Feldman said what you said. There are people who want to LSU. I told you it is. I mean, it's... If the president of LSU is pushing a minority hire, the two most obvious candidates are James Franklin and Mel Tucker. That's I'm giving you the answer to the test. And I'm telling you that James Franklin is actually at the top of the list. But the question is, can they get him? They're going to have competition because Penn State's going to want to pay to keep him. And word is USC is interested also. Drew! Let's see. Jump back here to Facebook. Sorry, y'all. As always, shout out to Brock. Brock Rock and Wine coming up in 2 weeks from yesterday at the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge, benefiting the Brock Foundation. Great food, wine stations, margarita machine, live music. Be a great event if you're looking for something to do on the open date weekend. And Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Of course, so many people still recovering from Ida. If you've had your insurance adjuster out, they're giving you your scope of work paperwork. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Email us at paperwork. We can get started. Pick shingle color. Get started on you. HudcoRoofing.com. 211 watching on YouTube. Boom. 91 likes. Let's smash that like button, if you would. If you're watching on mobile, just X out of the live chat, hit the thumbs up, and you'll see the little live chat icon. Tap it again. The comments come right back up. So thank you for that. Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Reagan Lee. If Franklin doesn't work out as possible, it could come to Kiffin. Listen. Look at the baseball hire. They were so far down the road, like accepted terms with Kevin O'Sullivan. Some stuff popped up in the background check. kind of gave him a little reason to pause. Then O'Sullivan was like, you know what, never mind, I'll just stay put. And then they kind of were starting over. So things could always happen in a coaching search. So that's what, man, I always say this. Y'all have heard me say it. It ain't done until it's done, 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 done. So yeah, a lot of stuff could happen. Chris Booty or Butte, who's your top 5 coaches in order? I don't know that I have one like singular glaring, yes, that's my guy, coach. But they're kind of all in a clump of the same ilk, I think. I would love Hugh Freeze, but I realize why that's not going to happen. So if you just ask me who I would like, that I think are attainable, my list would have James Franklin, Hugh Freeze, Lane Kiffin. Although him not ever wanting to punt the ball now really has me worried. I think it call Urban Meyer, but again, I know that's not going to happen. Well, I mean, it's like I program my brain just to understand the guys that are actually on the list, which is why I haven't really given much thought like who I would want. I mean, Fickle, I think, would do a fantastic job here, but I know it would take a hell of a lot of convincing because it doesn't seem like he's interested. Clark Tiger Davis, Chuck Smith, why would LSU hire a president that would go against the AD that everyone likes? So you don't hire a president of a university because of what he might do in a coaching search hire. The president of the university is hired to run the LSU system. Josh Blackman, I mean, remember, Chuck, it's Louisiana State University. It's a university system first that also has a football program. Let's see. I know it's only one game. ULM beat Hugh Freeze last night. They've gone from no wins to 3 so far this year. Much improved. No doubt, man. Like, Terry Bowden is undeniably a program builder. He did it at South Alabama. He did it at Akron. He's doing it now at ULM. Jonathan Burris, is Kiffin a real possibility? I'll say again, Jonathan, I know Lane Kiffin wants the LSU job. He is stumping for the LSU job through intermediaries. I also don't believe LSU will hire him. What are your thoughts on the Stanford coach as a candidate? David Shaw. David Shaw kind of rubs me or strikes me as a West Coast guy. I don't know that he would leave Stanford. And Stanford's just such a different place, with because you're so limited in your recruiting pool. Because you have to recruit kids that get into Stanford. You're fishing in a different pond. And I just don't know how translatable that is here. Anthony Williams, Matt, if you're the AD, who would you hire? My number one would be James Franklin. Andrew Hines, I need a GoFlow IV in a bad way. Andrew, I'll tell you, shout out to GoFlow. They do concierge service, so they will come to you. You call, if you can't get over there, they will come to you. Jesse Bergeron, what's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for announcing now that would be gone at the end of the year? Yeah, it's a good question, Jesse. As it's been explained to me, you remove any of the ambiguity. Your coaching search can begin in earnest without having to operate under like a cloak of secrecy. You can be transparent with recruits, which is a big deal, obviously, with the early signing period. So there are some, and it makes sense. Drew Breitling, morning Scone. When a new coach is chosen, what's the probability Moffitt is retained due to his tenure at LSU? Great question, Drew. And, I'm curious if that's going to be a new coach decision or if that's going to be a Scott Woodward decision as far as all the support staff. And I don't have the answer because I've heard both sides of it from people around LSU, and I really don't know what direction they're going to go. I don't. So I really don't want to speculate there. Tim, Matt, I know none of these names would be considered. Most of these names are mentioned as future head coaches. Tony Elliott, Brent Venables, Jim Leonard. Yeah, they're not going to consider any of those guys. Isn't Brent Venables interesting, though? A guy who's been such a successful career assistant at OU and Clemson and has never broken through. It's kind of the path Aranda was headed for if he didn't take a job now, because Venables, I think, is also making north of $2 million. So if you're Venables and you're making north of $2 million, you price out a lot of the group of five at that point. So basically, you have to have a situation like Baylor, where they hired Dave Aranda for $4 or $5 million a year, whatever they're paying him, where you commit and say, "This is our guy. You've never been a head coach before, but you're our guy, and we're committing this to you." And Venables just hasn't. He's had interviews. He's just never gotten that opportunity. Michael Kleber. Let's see. Jonathan Burris, Mel Tucker is a leading candidate. He's on the list. I've told you that before, but I'm telling you, number 1, 2, and 3 on LSU's list is James Franklin. Paul Batch, James Franklin would kill it here. He really would. I agree. See, Jonathan, I would not be excited about Mel Tucker. Michigan State is winning, but they're not a threat to Michigan or Ohio State. Mel Tucker's not the guy. Jonathan, I'm not telling. The thing about Tucker is, and this is where what I was explaining earlier about William Tate's involvement makes some sense. Scott Woodward, his history shows he swings for the fences. He's going like upper deck moonshot. You know, Mel Tucker coaching 1 year at Colorado and now in his second year at Michigan State doesn't fit that bill. For the guy that hired 3-time national championship coach in Kim Mulkey and hired Jay Johnson, who'd been to the CWS twice, including a championship series, who hired Jimbo, who had won a natty, who hired Chris Peterson. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't fit the mold of what Scott does, which tells you there are other factors at play. Paul Batts, I thought the podcast bros ruined the O'Sullivan LSU possibility. No, what happened with O'Sullivan was, I don't know what that means, but what happened with O'Sullivan was LSU was doing its due diligence on like background. They had agreed to terms. And whenever they kind of like pulled back a little bit, O'Sullivan got asked about it at the SEC tournament after Florida lost in the SEC tournament. And when LSU dragged its feet a little bit, that's when he said, forget it. He just didn't want to be part of a public spectacle. And the LSU kind of felt like it needed to vet some other options at that point. AJ Holland, Gamogan. Announcers talked about it on the TV. Need to wrap up when they go for these big hits, yeah. Bob Florich, whole family are Penn Staters. You're overstating their love of Franklin. But if there's anything that keeps him there, it's because he's from Pennsylvania. They're paying $9 million to keep him. They aren't paying $9 million to keep him. Got it. Yeah, Bob. I mean, Franklin's making, I think, 5, something like that. And I'm not trying to overstate their love for Franklin. But what I'm telling you is they're going to try to keep him if suitors come calling. So if it's Penn State who pays him, if it's USC, or if it's LSU, either way, Franklin's going to get a big bag this year. And I'll remind you all of this as well with James Franklin. I said this to you yesterday. And I know there's a lot of people right now watching who weren't watching yesterday. But James Franklin has a condo at 30A, loves the Gulf Coast. He spent quarantine at his condo at 30A. So proximity here with Destin, etc., like all that makes a lot of sense. Scott Harrington, good morning. Dale Broussard, did you really leave Saban off your list? I'm talking about realistic options, Dale. Come on, man. Matt Godwin, Keith Bauer, good morning. If Woodward and the president disagree, could this get ugly into the press and end up a fiasco? I don't think so, Jason, because like I've said so many times, Scott Woodward is a very smart, tactful athletic director. He's a very smart, tactful man. He's thoughtful and he wants things done before they come to light. So, sure, this part of thing, he's not super pumped about how this is going, but at the same time, you know, I think they'll. I just trust Scott Woodward. They'll work it out. Greg T. How about Jack Mashburn crushing people as a lead blocker? Definitely made a big difference yesterday with the offense. Calabra, Luke Fickle, or bust. I don't think it's going to happen. My understanding is Fickle wants to stay in the Midwest. And because Cincinnati is about to go into the Big 12, he's going to be in the Power 5 anyway. That's what it's been explained to me. Aslan Zadine. Hi, Matt. Watching you from Malaysia. It's 10:17 p.m. here. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much for watching. Much appreciated. Wow, Malaysia. Morning Scone has gone international. I love it. Do you think that was an early whistle on the third down TDP run at the goal line? No, I think. Good question, Gulf South. I think his momentum was stopped. His forward progress was stopped. It looked like they were pushing, and then it stopped and went backwards. So no, I don't think it was too early. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. Because we're at Don Juan, we're all like, "Oh, go, go!" Because like you could sort of see the pile push a little bit, but it stopped. Where are we? PTG Toasty, good morning. All right, y'all, I think we're just about done here, man. How long have we been rolling? About an hour, 17 minutes. All right. William Rose, possibility LSU retains O at 0. I mean, it's, I'm telling you, it's over. Like, and everyone is aware that it's over. It's just a matter of execution of the remainder of the season and how they let all of us know. Paul, I remember Joe Dean balked at the idea of paying Saban 1.3, how the times have changed. Yeah, no, it was Saban got 1.2, and they offered 1, and Sexton wanted 1.2, and Joe Dean wanted to haggle a little bit and thought they could get him at 1, and Emmert said, pay him the 1.2 and let's be done. That's how it happened. Caleb Brignac, update on Miles Brennan. Will we see him this season? Ogeron seemed not so certain when he was asked that last week. I know the plan all along was that they were going to get him thrown back on the open date and have him available for Bama. Ogeron last week sounded like that might not be the case. I'll ask. Okay, that's correct. It's just I think that they're committed right now to Max. It's hard to imagine, if Miles came back next week, that after Max started 8 games, that they would just throw Miles out there. I mean, remember, Miles Brennan's only started 3 games in his career. I mean, Max Johnson is now a more experienced player than Miles Brennan. All right. All right, Kirk, have a good day, man. Jackson Carter and Eddie will wait, gets an extension. Luke Maloney, Coach Klein. Mr. Coach Klein. Jay Maggio, nice crowd. Felt like we were not sure. Then got fired up in the second. Very good energy the rest of the way. Heard that from a bunch of people that were there, Jay. Like, it started off a little slow, and then it picked up, and then it made an impact, which was really cool to hear. So, okay, y'all. I think we're just about done here, man. Very much appreciate Very much appreciate y'all for watching. 220 still hanging out there on YouTube. That's awesome. Do me a solid and smash the like button. Much, much appreciated. Greg T, what do you think the opening betting line against Ole Miss will be? I think Ole Miss will be favored by 3.5. 3.5. Ole Miss 3.5. I think neutral field will be a pick'em. Ole Miss gets 3 points for home field, or Ole Miss will be a slight favorite. So, yeah, I think Ole Miss will be about a 3.5 point favorite in the game. We'll see today though. We'll see the early line, which comes out today. And all right. I think we're just done. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. As always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you're on Facebook, Brock and Hudco are both tagged in the post. So do me a solid and like both the Brock and the Hudco pages. Remember, Brock, Rock, and Wine coming up 2 weeks from yesterday on the open date. brortho.com for tickets, brortho.com. Of course, Hudco Roofing and hudcoroofing.com. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Enjoy your Sunday. Beautiful day, man. Y'all take care of each other. We'll see you. Peace.